Where to even start, dude? Well, first and foremost, hello everyone. Move this bottle out of the way. Welcome to Friday, Community and Chill. But I'm gonna throw a little quick boomerang at you guys. Surprise! It's a DangIT Prodcast episode. So hey guys, how's it going? My name is Justin, and well, that was weird. I'm so used to doing the whole. Actually, I can just do that right now. I can do that. I can do that right now. Let me do this real quick. Okay, now it seems like, hey, okay, now it feels like a legitimate podcast. Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Justin. You're watching, if you're watching this live on Twitch, it's just kind of like a little surprise. And for those on YouTube, I'm sorry, this is a pre-recorded one. Well, it kind of in a sense. We kind of been doing that on YouTube. Anyway, 370 of DangIT Prodcast. If you guys don't know, we do podcasts like every week since 2012 or 13. Something like that. We've been doing quite a lot of them. Now we've just passed 365, but we just do it weekly. So we do the math. It kind of worked. I think we skipped a week. But because I want to keep a schedule kind of going with that, shout outs to Player, by the way, saying hi. I figured to just kind of do this because usually when we film our little podcasts here and there on Twitch nowadays, for YouTube, it's at DangIT Pro. It's DangIT Pro _ gaming. That's the handle for Twitch. There we go. That's for YouTube. Anyway, so we're here doing a little bit of I guess it doesn't really matter because on Twitch we do it and then we just post it on YouTube. So now it's just become like recording in that sense, and then we just re-upload it. Anyway, we're doing it early because the usual time that we do these podcasts is a time that I'm gonna be preoccupied visiting a cousin out somewhere else. So it's kind of weird now. Now I was like, okay, I gotta do this thing. I don't have to, but I kind of feel obligated to do it because we've been doing it for like 370 episodes now. So let's just do that. Even though it's just me literally just, if it ain't me talking to friends in the group, then it's just me just talking about like the daily events. Kind of like how we usually do it for the Friday community streams at DangIT Pro _ gaming. Wait, hold on. I got a treat for you guys. We got the soundboard going. So that's one thing. We finally got around to it. Credit is now following. Thank you so much for the follow. Let's give a round of applause to Credit, who's a new follower. I was actually going to use the soundboard anyway, but this is fine. I was going to say... Stop. Holy shit. I dug deeper into the Stream Deck. If you guys don't know, the Stream Deck is pretty much that thing that streamers really like rave about, right? Let's see if I could pull it without unplugging everything. Oh, anyway, it's right here. And I just finally start digging into what is their kind of like their online store through the Streamlab or Stream Deck, excuse me, Stream Deck app, which actually includes a couple of sound effects. Some I'll just go through real quick, like taking a picture, you know, like the next one, the shiny ding, bell ring, and you know, very loud keyboard typing. I can't do that here anymore because the filter on the mic doesn't allow for that anymore, but it's okay. We also got a police siren. Anyway, and 3 round of applause stuff. So we're absolutely like strapped and ready for this. We're just missing some of the OG like soundboards that we used to have when we were filming at the office space. God, I haven't been to the office space in a while. It's probably been a while. Speaking of the office space, Anaya, who's the current owner of that, we just wrapped up watching Black Widow. It's actually my second time, but it was his first time. He enjoyed it. I know that there was something that he was talking about as far as like some person online talking about the inconsistencies of Black Widow being tied into, spoiler alert, very mild spoiler alert, Civil War. But turns out they don't, whoever was doing the source, literally they just had like a deadline on Thursday and they had to type something out because obviously, from what we saw, the timelines don't really converge in a weird way, so it works out. I still stand by it. Black Widow is just a nice standalone Black Widow movie that doesn't like really overstep in the whole, you know, spoiler alerts, actually, Black Widow being gone. She got exchanged for her Soul Stone, which it's weird because now I think about like the TVA and right, like the stuff happening in Loki and how insignificant like those stones are in that world. And I'm just like, damn, dude, why you gotta like indirectly say the sacrifice was like, oh my god, I can't, because that was such an emotional thing. Just as emotional as like the first time, another spoiler, Peter like getting dusted like in Infinity War at the end, and how people in the theaters were like, oh my god, they just ended it like that. That was also a bold move too. But in any case, about Black Widow, it was my second time going around it. So what I like to do, well, aside from just simply enjoying, like, just, or at least kind of hyper focusing on like certain aspects, because obviously you get like it just the movie. I'm not sure how other people are like this, but I know that I personally like will just sit down, watch the movie for the first time, and just kind of take in everything, but not absolutely absorb everything. Whereas the second run through of it is when you pay a lot more attention to some minor like conversations happening here and there. I remember that there was a conversation when it was Natasha and Helena at the convenience store, and she was saying something about like one of the god Avengers characters, which would have been Thor at this point. I didn't really catch like what she was saying, but pretty much she was just saying like, you know, like there's no way people would really want to like attack Natasha. That's why the Red Room hasn't done anything to her, because they wouldn't want to have a target on their backs through the Avengers. So that's that. So I ultimately I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it as well. So my second time going through it, would I watch it again? I think I could do another like watch with it, like with a friend anyway. Like I wouldn't watch this on my own. But still a good movie. Still like very much so recommended. It came out earlier this month, like single digits July. And I can't believe we're sitting on the 23rd of July, totally tagging like the timeline of this episode. Although wait, didn't it come out on the 8th / the 9th? So it's only been 2 weeks. Why is like when you say like it's in the beginning of the month, it feels like it's way past, but I've only like I watched it twice and it's only been out for like a little bit, about like 3 weeks. Technically 2, but yeah, it's totally good. I totally recommend it. I'm glad that Anaya and I are on the same page as one of the movie previews. You guys know the M. Night Shyamalan blah blah movie, Old. Okay, so little quick thing about it. It's interesting. I think when someone talks about the review of it, there was one reviewer for that I was watching for Old. I'm not gonna watch the movie, but brings up a good point about the fear and, well, the fear of getting old, and creates an interesting depiction of the mentality like of a 6-year-old, take for example, having rapidly aged and dealing with that new body for however long they get that for. That includes, unfortunately, what they deal with or talk about, which is like the hormones that are like palpable like when you get to that like teenage age. So I like how they pointed that out. But Anaya and I are on the same page in the sense that that girl who gets pregnant in the movie is super scary and also makes you question what's happening. So I don't know what goes on like in that sense, but I'm not into it. So that's ultimately our takeaway from that. But yes, so that was a little bit of some current events. Before we jump into more, well, actually, it's kind of like I'm going like backwards, right? Chronologically. But kind of just starting off, like what's been going on recently is that I've been trying to figure out an interesting way of putting like workouts into my schedule and not having it overlap with other possible things I can do it. The solution, wake up really early. That's what I did today. It was it wasn't 4:30 all the, well, actually it was like 4:35 I woke up. And oh, that was weird because when walking out, I didn't talk about the gym experience like a little bit after, but after after I got out of the gym, I felt like the entirety of this day has just went on. It's been like significantly longer. For the 2 hours, I've just been up like later than usual. So that's how I'm feeling right now. For the workout itself, my arms are tired. What was it? I did like, what was it? Some progress reports on it, like the dumbbells, like 30 pounds until failure, 25 till failure. It wasn't a lot of reps or sets, I'll tell you that much. Jumped back into bench press again for the first time in who knows how long. That felt pretty decent. I was questioning like the technique for it, like what am I doing? Because it's one thing to do the exercise, it's another thing to do it well. So like the technique, for example, I've noticed that like when I laid down the bench press, like I think one of my biggest issues that pervaded even back then was the fact that like and I'm trying to illustrate this like with the stream, I feel like my left hand right over here, keeps the grip kind of like this, but like my right arm keeps it like this. And I don't know if that's like I'm not sure if that's the right motion. I try to do this, but I feel like I don't have like enough strength because the weight goes through this way. But I feel like this is like a better like foundation for it. So I think that's why I do that. But my form was kind of all over the place. Didn't even feel steady. Like it was kind of like rickety. Arm was kind of leading, like right arm, and left hand was kind of like sagging about. And I'm like, oh, keep it even. And after I did that as comfortably as I could, I swapped over to a machine that kind of did something similar. So mainly because of the fact that I don't have anyone who can just like coach me on that. So it's just best that I just do it simply. Because the last time I did that, I mean, thankfully I didn't get hurt, but good lord, that would have been a terrible experience if more eyes caught that, right? But what else? I did the curling machine once I went to failure with the manual dumbbells. I just went to one of the machines that assisted and just worked that out. Also did the same thing with the one that does triceps. And then I went over to another machine. I forget what that one's called, but it's one where, and I'll try to demonstrate it. It's where you get up and then you have to like put your knee like right here. You grab like a handle right here and you have this weight here and you have to pull up and down in that type of direction for both sides. And I didn't think much about that, but I realized that so at some point like during the day when I was using the bathroom and you did that same motion just to pull up my pants, that was that's when I realized like, oh. And it feels super weird too. The fact is that your arm, well, not just your arm, just your body feeling the soreness like within the day, right? It's it's a different feeling. I'm really starting to feel it like now that we're in like the late PMs. But yeah, I'm happy that I went through with the exercise. I wouldn't want to do that every single day though. Listen, like I now that it's been the first time in a long time since I've woken up like super early for anything. Usually we wake up early for like Comic-Con, not Comic-Con, although kinda, right? The last time I woke up really early was probably to go for a trip to San Diego, which was like, or not, I don't even think it's San Diego, but we have done it before. But I remember that we drove over to Utah. Yeah, it was Utah. We woke up as early as we could. I don't think we started driving until like 6 a.m., but we were up early. to drive like 9 hours, probably 6 hours, um, over to where Dennis used to live. He lives somewhere else now, so I guess unfortunately we won't be able to do something like that unless we want to bear another long ass road trip. And to be honest, I don't really feel like doing another road trip until like we get like say like a Tesla or something like that. Speaking of which, quick aside, right? Tesla, right? So, I follow like the YouTuber Marquez Brownlee, and he released a recent video of like his take on the what was it, the Tesla Model like S Plaid. I forget what the Plaid even stands for or the significance of it. He was talking about that in the review about that. We gotta address something. What was it? The yoke, or not yoke, but like the yoke. It's pretty much just like the steering wheel, right? But it's missing the top portion of it. It's just it's actually quite a rectangular shape down the bottom. Has touch sensitive buttons, right? Ugh. So hearing that and hearing his review just kind of like what was it? Prophesize exactly like what the issue I would have seen was, which is accidentally pressing like buttons. So not really that. I still want to get one, like a Tesla, just probably like their Model 3. Is that what they were calling? I totally like fell off of that ever since I started saving up money, right? But I'm totally down for trying out, or no, not trying out, getting a Tesla, but it'll take a while. It will take a while. Infinite Undiscovery. Now that's a new one. Okay, sorry. I just read the Facebook message. Mark was talking about how, and surprisingly enough, well, actually it is 9, so it's technically 12 on his side. He should probably be sleeping, right? But Mark had talked about there being 2 JRPGs from Xbox, being Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon. I know both of those, but I guess I never knew about Infinite Undiscovery. That's from Phil. Phil's kind of more of our expert, so should probably follow more on like what he has to say on that. But yeah, I would say that the whole talk on Tesla it's gonna be really brief until we see anything about the Cybertruck, which I never like. I don't think I'll ever get that, but I want to see more about it. See if it like how people feel about it like on the road these days. But in any case, what was I gonna talk about? I guess I'm kind of going in order of all the things that have been happening as I get like a nasally like nose. But Scarlet Nexus, actually, I've been talking about that sparingly for the past couple like weeks, right? So why I bring it up this time around, it's because I actually completed the game on Xbox, got like all the trophies. So I'm just gonna give myself the nice pat on the back. Okay, thank you. Oh, thank you. Dude, I have to talk about this because I never felt like this way about a game where you play through it one like run of it, and you get so attached to everything, and you feel empty after you beat the game. You play through it again with a different character, you get that same emptiness again. And now you have both characters playable, and you're just out trying to complete stuff. I did that, and I felt empty for a third time. So I think that speaks volumes to just how impactful that game was for me, as far as just it being such a good game in my eyes. So it has all the makings to become like its own sequel. In fact, like I'm almost like certain that they would be able to do like a sequel, but it does depend on sales, right? Because I don't know how much they put into this game, because they announced it a while back. I think it was around the time that like we were getting news about the new like Xbox console, right? And this is like Scarlet Nexus was kind of like there like with the announcement, but we didn't know too much until like later on, like literally like last year. And that's like late last year, properly spoken. So yeah, I'm just I was dealing with that for a little bit today. Just like knowing that like I've done everything that I needed to, and that getting all the achievements on Xbox meant that you have completed the game as best as like I guess the devs would deem it as such. And it's crazy because obviously you can do more. You can like maximize like everyone's level. The the last thing I had to do in the game was to just level up my character to the point where you can like allot like all the points into their like whole brain levels tree. And that's level 80, mind you, if you ever want to do that. And I found that like after going through both runs of Yuto and Kasane, you find yourself at like level 70. And so you have like 10 spanking like levels to kind of go through. And those become a little repetitive. I went through the last level. It's called Memories of Impasse, and that's kind of where you have to go through like the gauntlet, in which it takes you like 2 to 3 rounds like to get a level, right? So it became a little monotonous, and they're dealing with like the high damage stokers. But what was interesting was that when I went through that, I found myself, I mean, what's the word for it? Like I found myself just kind of I'm sorry, I totally got distracted. Let me run that again. I felt that I had, and I don't really want to say this like as if I'm the master, right? But I felt like I had like a really great like proficiency in the game as far as what to do to best effectively get enemies beaten. um And you know, I could talk about that a little bit more, but I don't really want to bore you guys with the details. But essentially, it's just utilizing like every single aspect of your character's abilities and other people's abilities, and get it to like a level of finesse that you just kind of know what you're doing, and it's almost kind of crazy to know like exactly what you're actually doing. There's so many mechanics into the game that I gotta praise it for. Again, the fluidity of the combat is like one of the biggest perks for it, just the fact that you can just do anything and it's considered part of the combo, or at least there's a like a small latency in between delay like inputs that allow you to just kind of carry it on. But yeah, so I'm singing high praises to Scarlet Nexus. It's probably like one of the best like games I've ever seen through like Bandai Namco, that's kind of like this like anime like focus like JRPG, or just like action adventure game. So just wanted to say like it's great. Like I totally 100% like recommend it. And if you see a sequel to it, best know that I will talk about that a lot in great detail, and I might even like splurge on like some story content stuff. And you know what? If we do get like the announcement of a sequel, I might be down to actually try out doing a stream actually of Scarlet Nexus, because I literally just played this game on my free time because I really wanted to just take it easy and take it slow. And I'm happy I did that. But I totally be down to do like an actual like um stream of it, and maybe like add our own like restrictions to it. Like for example, maybe not like equip like plugins to your character, or even like expand on level up tree if possible. Things like that. Might be fun. It might be challenging. It might suck. But it's also like been a really engaging game for me. So we'll see. It's a lot of dialogue though. That's the problem. It's a lot. Like I'm pretty sure it's like maybe 5 to 7 hours of cutscene time. It's or just simply conversations if you just let it auto scroll itself. Also, something that happened, what was it? Literally Wednesday, right? Was it Wednesday? Yeah, it was Wednesday. Um, we beat Sonic Unleashed here on Twitch. It's great, right? Right? Sorry, I should really stop doing that. I should do that. I should do that unironic. I should do that ironically. Okay, but it's great. Well, the game isn't great. I've already talked about like my shared feelings about Sonic Unleashed. Sonic Unleashed, it's got problems. The fun thing is literally having played through the daytime stages so many times that you just become proficient at like finding the best ways possible to get that S rank, right? That's kind of like the big highlight of the game for me. But when you play through the game like your first time through, you're gonna die a lot, and sometimes it's not gonna feel fair. So anyone who's been interested in picking up Sonic Unleashed, and it's one of those easier to be accessed games, especially their Xbox, but if you're down to try it out, I mean, go you. Go you. But I will say, Endless Possibilities is like on the brain now. I've literally just been going around thinking about that, like those lyrics where it was like, wow, I'm testing myself like right now and I can't come up with like lyrics anymore. What was it? What was it? This is my escape. I'm running through this world. You get it. But how will I? I'm good. That was it. Whew. But I still have that song stuck in my head, which is crazy because you know when Sonic did their like 35th anniversary. Wait, it is 35th, right? Deadass. Anyway, 35th anniversary. When they played that song, I was like, damn, dude, I haven't thought about this song in a while. But the lyrics are literally flooding through, and I didn't even play the game at the time. I thought that like Sonic Unleashed, for all the issues that it has introducing the Werehog, was still like a really cool game. Now that I played through it, it's certainly a game that exists. And you know what? It exists and it's part of the history, and Sega just kind of upholds that. They honor that. So that's all I can really say about the game. As far as the next game we're going to be doing for the live streams, that's going to be tough though. I don't really know what I want to do. Part of me kind of wants to do, I was going to say Sonic something. No, Pokemon Unite, because that game recently came out too. And throughout like the stuff that happened today, like on my off time, Pokemon Unite was one of those I kind of gave it a shot. I only played through the tutorial and the practice thing that they throw like right at you front gate, and it's already piqued my interest enough. I mean, I went through the whole process of just, what was it, redeeming Zeraora, right, through the mail and stuff like that. So all I gotta do is just put some like hours into it. But I haven't really played that many MOBAs, if not any. And this might be like a nice little introduction to it. I see what they're all about, and I can see the level of proficiency I can obtain or like attain like through playing it like a few hours or so. So I might try that out. Yeah, I might give it the honest go. Although like for Twitch, maybe not the best idea, because I know a lot of people are literally streaming that one. I can actually like look up and see like exactly what's good right now as far as like Twitch streams. And granted though, at the end of the day, you should just play what you want to play, and that should be it. So there's that. Damn, dude, a lot of people are playing Final Fantasy X. A lot of people playing, but then there was wasn't there a whole anniversary that happened? I saw like one YouTube video, and it's been being spread out like a lot. So fair enough, right? Let's see. I'm kind of curious as to like what other games are like being shown off here. Oh shit, there's people doing Pokemon Go? Nice. I remember that someone was playing Pokemon Go and they were helping someone on the side, like IRL, and that was kind of crazy to see. The fact that like stuff really just happened during that. So nice. Really nice. Also saw that like Mario Odyssey might be like a good game to be playing through like right now. And mind you, Mario Odyssey is kind of a gem. It's on sale, I know that. But it's good, trust me. It's good. It's I won't say it's one of the few games, because there's a fair number of games that can run 60 frames on the Switch, but Mario Odyssey is one of those games that specifically geared itself so it'd be like 60 frames, whether handheld or on the dock. It did have to sacrifice some resolution though, but I mean, it's still like really good looking. You don't even need to pay attention to like the visuals. I will say though, I'm gonna say it. I know people don't want to hear it. But if there was a Switch Pro and they were able to go back and like update like some of the older games, I'd be down for it. I think that'd be an absolutely baller move if Nintendo did that. Like how Xbox is kind of doing some like FPS boosting for like some other games. Sonic is also included in one of those titles, but yeah, I would say that if Nintendo did that, I think that'd be a really cool thing, especially for games that could definitely need it. Like, I think, I mean, it doesn't need to because like it doesn't require that much like frames per second for it. But Monster Hunter Stories recently came out and apparently has performance issues as far as like keeping a maintained 30 frames at most times. It sucks. I know that Skyward Sword isn't also like it isn't in the clear either because there's certain moments a la like the second boss fight, right, that have like a frame issue because there's just a lot of things that are happening on screen like at a certain point, but it is what it is. That's fine, but one that has consistent errors, then maybe be crazy if like a game like maybe Witcher 3 got the performance boost. It'll look a lot better on a Switch Pro, but again, we have absolutely nothing as far as news for like a Switch Pro. After like OLED came out, it's been kind of news about a Switch Pro has been kind of dead in the water, and no one's trying to like hypothesize anything. I'm in the camp though that's just like, well, it's a bummer. Be cool if it happened, but we got nothing to go off of that, so we're just gonna just sweep that under the rug and then maybe check that rug at some point when it does get announced or someone talks about it. I will say though, Bloomberg report, the Steam Deck is the Switch Pro. I mean, you're right. I mean, look at Hat in Time. Hat in Time is ported for the Switch. I think it runs 30. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you can run Hat in Time on the Switch or on the Switch Pro, the Steam Deck, right? And it would probably perform like even better. Or Doom Eternal. Damn, dude. I will say Bloomberg report was true about the OLED. Putting it out there. So we received another Bloomberg report like sometime after that, right? Which was talking about like the GPU, the upscaling the 4K. So it could be one of those things where like it would just mix into the bag. But I kind of want to believe it because of just the spot on like report about like the OLED display. But that news and the source for that varies. So I mean, and Bloomberg is just the one that reports it. But you know, we'll see how that plays out. Legit, the only thing was right was the OLED. I feel like there was only like 2 things that they talked about, and if it was one out of the 2, that means it's kind of within like the good graces of that half like ratio there. So it is what it is. Mark, I don't think you were here like earlier when we were talking about it. We're I think 30 minutes in, right? 30 minutes into the surprise. This is kind of a podcast for when I upload it tomorrow when I'm not live streaming the podcast. But we got a podcast going, soundboard and everything. I felt the twitch on my face when I did that. Oh man, if anyone's just listening to the podcast, just with your ear holes, I'm sorry. None of this is gonna make sense. But yeah, no, I was talking about me working out like early in the morning. Like pretty much when they started it up. I woke up at like 4:30 in the goddamn morning, and it's strange how it feels like well, I mean, we're nearing the end of the day. It is the end of the day for you, Mark, but for me, it's just like, well, there's still like 10 o'clock, you know? Pain, no podcast tomorrow. Crimson Skies and Blinks coming to Game Pass. Oh yeah, Blinks is coming to Game Pass. I remember that. I don't know anything about Crimson Skies though. It is what it is. But yeah, I worked out, and it's crazy to feel like the soreness already. Usually, like it takes like the whole sleeping cycle. Yeah, it's 9 where you are. Exactly. It's about 9:30 right now, but for you it's like 12:30. What are you doing up, Mark? I hope you're not getting like violently jabbed by your girlfriend. I'm gonna call the police on you. But yeah, I have no idea what else to bring up. I think that's everything. I talked about completing Scarlet Nexus. I finally got like the full like array achievements, and I've never felt empty after doing like some kind of completion of a game for the 3rd time. Obviously, we're talking about like first clear, Yuto clear, Kasane clear, completionist clear. So I was kind of going through the woes of that, and I switched over to Pokemon Unite. Switch. And I only played a small bit of that. Never went to an online match. I just went through the practice stuff. But it intrigues me already to a point. So I was thinking about trying to stream that. I don't know if that's going to work too well with the algorithm here, but I do want to kind of give it a try. What was it? Yeah, complete Yuto's like story. Still gotta do Kasane's. Ending was pain. And I want to play Unite. I just have no room. Oh yeah, that's right. Like actual data space. That sucks, bro. Man, dude. We'll need to invest like a larger SD card. I know I gotta. I'm finally capping out on the 128, and doesn't feel great because it's a digital library, so it's kind of hard to like track down like what save data is where. All it took was Pokemon to get Justin to play a MOBA game. It's true, because I don't give a fuck about MOBA games, generally speaking. But it was Pokemon, and it has a level of polish to it. Not because it's Nintendo, but it was because it's Pokemon. It pretty much needed to dumb it down so that I could be like, that's a Pikachu, that's a Charizard, that's a score point. This is how they scale it. This is how they scale it. Okay, that makes sense. I'll give it a try. Yeah. Sorry, Mark, I'm not playing Smite. Like, I think I had the opportunity to play it. It was either that or another MOBA game. I literally picked it up once for one like match or even half a match. Maybe it was me literally just sitting there, just checking the environment out, and I hopped out. By the way, Blastoise not launch, but at least I got Lucario, Zeraora, and Absol. Oh shit! Now that you talked about Absol, there's a phenomenon that's going on. Sorry, I stuttered a couple times. It's a phenomenon that's going on that I've noticed. It all started with competitive Nintendo through Smash Brothers. It started with Joker being released, and legit within the day that he comes out, or even like within the weekend, right after he comes out, I remember that there was like a specific headline on Twitch that said "Best Joker Player," and I was like, "You need to slow your roll." And just this, like earlier today, I saw someone's like Twitch title saying "Best Absol" in the game, or future best Absol, right? And I'm like, y'all need to you guys gotta like slow down, okay? Has to slow down. Smite's fun, but you gotta learn how to play MOBAs first. I feel that. I get that. I 100% get that now. Still probably won't play Smite, I mean. This is what it is. Even though Smite has the craziest like crossovers. I mean crossovers, I mean like really skins, but you know. Oh bro, people be saying shit all the time. Best this, the best that. And you know what? I think I'm finally getting into that demographic of people just getting force-fed that information. It's like, bruh, like, I'm pretty sure you like have a good game to back that up, but like, I quite presumptuous of you, right? I'm pretty sure though you have like a really good game behind that. I couldn't back myself up. I couldn't say like, oh, I'm the best Pikachu player, and literally hop into my first match. But yeah, building items, learning abilities, majority of the learning. I started picking that out too, and I'm not sure it's because of my like influence on Scarlet Nexus now, or no, switch that Scarlet Nexus and its effect on me, where there's certain mechanics that aren't outlined right in front of you. It's something you either pick up from the community or you just pick it up by yourself. And I noticed that with Pokemon, right? Because they had me play through as Pikachu and they had me play as Charizard for like the demo stuff. And I immediately picked that up, the fact that like Pikachu felt like a kind of a weird way. Like they all kind of move the same speed, but like their tactics are kind of different. So as I kind of go through the tutorial, I think about like, or at least I look at the moveset too, where I'm thinking like, okay, well, what exactly are you guys' ability? Like, what can I rely on like consistently? Because people are going to pick that out, and I'm starting to pick that out too. If they have stats to prove it, I believe them. Exactly. Like, you got like a counter, how many people like you've like beat like 1v1 in like one? All right. I know I couldn't do it. I couldn't be like one of those people. What else did I talk about? Oh yeah, Sonic Unleashed. We finished that last night. Oh, song's good though. Songs are good. The game itself, not so much. So yeah, I was thinking about like the next game, and I think it might be Pokemon Unite. Just give it a try, right? Because that has the potential, just kind of like as like a consistent game to jump back into. It's for you to consistently play it yourself. That's the issue for me. But I know that we have like a whole library, as you can see. There's 2 other games like stacked on top there. It's Kirby and Skyward Sword HD. Yeah. Oh, I don't. Did we talk about the Switch? The Joy-Cons? Well, I mean, I guess, well, here it is. It looks cool. Anyway. Don't worry, guys. That's the last bit of show and tell that I'm going to do. Yeah, so that's kind of like what I've been doing this past week, I guess. Work's been all right. I was kind of bummed out, like, what was it, Thursday? Because today is my Friday day off, but and I'm grateful to have that. But I don't know, I was kind of bummed out because I didn't feel like I wasn't able to get as much work done because of just the sheer load that we're kind of under. Granted, though, it is what it is. We have our days where there's just a lot of work to be done, and that can be stressful. And you want to get as much done as you can, but literally other things just kind of get in the way of that. It's normal, but it is what it is. Mark is literally just giving me a full paragraph on how you fucking play this game, how you play Smite or MOBAs. I'll go ahead and entertain this. MOBAs, you have like in Smite, you have like mage, tank, warrior, hunter, and assassin. Your hunter and guardian would go to the carry lane, warrior goes to the solo lane, mage goes middle, your assassin goes jungle. However, they are epic memers who will shake it up and play a character in a completely different way in a role you wouldn't expect. It's kind of what I saw in Pokemon. They literally classify characters like in certain ways based on like the playability, level of expertise required, what they specialize in. For the most part, I see like offense, I see like defense, and I see like speedsters. So they kind of like fall within like their own lane of things. So obviously, like starting off, you could just do whatever you want, but once you pick like a lineup, and I don't even know how they sort it out because you're playing with other people too, right? So what's the off chance of everyone playing as a Zeraora? I feel like that might, well, I haven't seen duplicates yet. From the very few like bits of streams and videos I've seen, no one has like paired up with like a duplicate. So I'm pretty sure the system kind of balances it out. So you'll just find yourself in a match where it's like you're just evened out. I don't know how the net play is like that, but I will say what I noticed is that it's what was it? It was kind of like variable refresh rate, right? I think that's what they call it. It's depending on your signal. It can go up to 60 frames, but it varies. Zero is top tier, I bet. Which is why a lot of people should probably jump into that. Mark was saying I was playing Smite when it released on Xbox, and I was like, I'm gonna get good at this. Like I felt like a determination to get good. Oh yeah, I mean, I get that too. I might actually feel that way like about Pokemon if I really devote myself to it. You already know the story. I'm not one to really like jump into a game and be like absolutely devoted, knowing that it requires you to log in several times over. Like I was playing Honkai Impact for a fair bit, like maybe like a month at best, like consecutively. Then I stopped because I realized like the cycle of it, and I was like, I'm not 100% invested in this gameplay style that I come back to it. Honkai Impact is impressive. I mean, goddamn, we were just talking about in the Facebook chat, and I showed like the animation video that they got, and I'll be honest, I've been watching like whatever new like animation videos that come out because those are absolutely banging. Like as far as the score, just the pure presentation of it, it's really good. But it's not something I could like consistently play. I dropped off of what was it? Dragalia Lost for that reason. I dropped off of Fire Emblem Heroes of all games because I can't consistently jump back into it. It's at a point though, partially because of the fact that like it's now overwhelming. There's a bunch of new info from Dragalia Lost, mechanic wise updates. Fire Emblem Heroes, there's just a bunch of other things that are just like you'd have to catch up, but now it just feels overwhelming, so it doesn't help. Mark was saying hardcore playing Smite on the PC, but PC broke. I'm sorry. At least you got the Xbox. I mean, hey, you do does it do cross progression, platform progression? Because that'd be really good. Oh, it is crossplay, literally everything, which is a huge thing for MOBA. Okay, I totally get that now. But yeah, no, like that's why I was so hesitant to play like the My Hero game. And I'll tell you right now, I literally dropped off of that. I dropped off of it not because it doesn't like enthrall me into it. Like My Hero's like a favorite series of mine now. But damn, dude, just the same thing over and over. Damn, bruh. I mean, you mean Wakanda forever, forever? You mean forever? You just like you do this, and you're like, oh god, what have I done? Oh, you linked your account. You got 2,000 like more gamer score on that. Nice. And that's not to say like I'm gonna shout on anyone else's like take on wanting to play through these games consistently. But it's like playing the same thing over and over and over again. I mean, like even I dropped off of tennis. But yeah, no, like it's different. Maybe some moderation. Maybe take a break here and there. You might be good. I was talking to Mark about Kaiju number 8 for a little bit. It was one of those series that I didn't have like a really good impression of it, like just solely off of like whatever Mark was saying about it. It's like, well, I mean, granted, Mark was just saying like read Kaiju number 8. I think maybe it was Christoph, right? But I think Anaya was in there too with like that. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that I didn't like think too much about it. And granted, though, it's one of those things where I was even thinking to myself, all right, the only source of Kaiju number 8 that I got is through the main source, which is the manga, right? Can I actually recommend a manga to people? Because I don't really do that. I've never recommended manga to people. I've done anime, sure, and that's probably why I would say like, oh, My Hero Academia, yeah, totally recommend it. Even though I would say now the pacing of it at the beginning is slower than Kaiju number 8, which, you know, having read things over and over and over again with the same kind, similar premise, the streamlined like process of Kaiju number eight's like character or plot progression chimes like vibes well with like my perception of things. So it's good that way. Could I recommend it though? Probably. Like, if I wasn't so like fixated, I'd probably say like, well, it depends on like what you like, but it's like no, it's good. It's good. Just read it when you want to. It's a show. It's pretty much like it has every aspect of a shonen, but with an older like protagonist. Mark finds that kind of weird though, or no, not weird, different. Having an older protagonist like in the show, or sorry, series. Oddly enough though, and I want to put my 2 cents in this. I feel like as I've gotten older, the main protagonists of shows I end up watching end up being older as well. And I don't think that's coincidence. I think there's a reason why we're finding a lot of isekai anime dealing with like middle, like mid-20s characters now. And now we're starting to extend to like late 20s and maybe early 30s now. It's interesting how I think the industry is aging up with us. And so while trying to appeal to a newer audience, they feel like they're kind of like appealing to us, albeit My Hero is still like pretty golden and still deals with high schoolers. There's that, yeah. Interesting take on the kaiju genre, right? Because usually kaijus are like this big, and there are kaijus that big in the show, but it's like, damn it, series. This one deals with like smaller size. They actually give them like different classifications. They're all kaiju collectively as a term, but they have different classifications of like how big, from the humanoids to large size. I could not tell you what they're called, but it's something Jew. Not like Jew, but you know, like Kai, replace that, something Jew. Does that make sense? I'm just trying to cover my bases. It'll probably be a show eventually. I most certainly could see that happening. What was it? There is a admittedly, Kaiju number 8's not the only show the only series that I'm like reading, right? There's another one. I'm not sure anyone knows about this. Daikaiju. Yeah, that is a classification, but I don't think it classifies the size. It's just the threat level of it. Like, they classify Kaiju number 8 as the Daikaiju because he is deeming like one of the more most dangerous ones. But there are other ones. Drust. And I should probably read the other chapters for it, but it's a little bit of backtracking for that, but it is what it is. What was the other show? It's a horror / comedy anime now, right? But from the source material, I'm telling you, it's just straight horror. It's almost near dramatic, and I don't feel like there's a lot of comedy bits per se, right? Let me type a general like search on YouTube. Horror comedy anime. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Just a thumbnail, no title on it. Remember Tokyo Ghoul though? Damn, dude. Damn. Oh man, they're not really showing me like. I guess there is a lot of horror / comedy anime. Or maybe they're just showing a lot of horror anime, period. Alright, fine, I'll hop onto this video and just hope for the best. And mute it as well. Let's see if they have like a listings for it. Nope, they don't. Actually, no, I think I have it on Reddit, because there's actually an active Reddit community on there too. Oh god, oh Jesus. Okay, this is what it's called. It's called Miruko, like as in like if you're kind of used to hearing the word in like the Japanese like language, it's kind of like looking as kind of like the definitions for that entire title, but it's essentially it boils down to a girl that sees like the undead or the ghost, and it got recently like got the green light for like an actual anime, and he was with like a totally normal high school girl who like at one point at a bus stop late at night has a horrific encounter with a spirit, and it's one of those things, and I'll kind of like paraphrase it like or shorthand it. Pretty much it's the spirit just says like, can you see me, can you see me, can you see me? And it's literally this girl without even like any response, just ignores it. And that's the premise of the show. It gets a little bit more dynamic than that, but pretty much this girl from that point on is able to see like the most demonic like beings like walk normally like in broad daylight and at night as well. And her focus is to protect like her closest friend, for if she were to acknowledge their existence, she would also endanger her as well. So that's pretty much what the show is. And I would say just by this visual alone, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this, right? Just by, well, how about like that? You see it, right? Jesus. Anyway, I'm not one for like horror per se, right? But maybe I just don't like jump scares, to which I am now like more acclimated to this one. So yeah, I read that. Holy shit. You feel so bad about it. Yeah. You may have seen like a trailer here and there on YouTube, but it looks terrifying. Yeah. Drink some water. Thank you, Mark. I'm at that point where it's like, yeah, we probably should get some water. Stretch and posture check. That reminds me I should do something about the channel points too. The posture check. And stretch. Oh, I felt that. Oh. No cracks on that one. We're okay. We're okay. Yeah, no. It's when I think about, was it Miko? Yeah, or whatever the character's name is. You feel so bad about it. I've got 46.9 thousand. I'm pretty aware of that. There's not really much, admittedly, on the channel point side of things. I want to do something else with it, but I don't have any ideas like straight off the dome. But I know that Brian actually did something like on his stream, right? And it's pretty much just playing sound effects. I kind of wouldn't mind that, but we'll see how that plays out. I want to make it easier for people to know that there's stuff to show up on the whatchamacallit, oh my god, channel points, the solar flare. I'll show you the solar flare. Where is it actually? Where am I? Solar flare. Oh, it's broken. Sorry. Looks like I'm gonna have to ring it in. Tell them what's up. I know that we fixed up the lighting situation for these guys, or not. I think the stream deck no longer works. Like for certain things. Oh yeah, it's because you put the thing to sleep. Issue, note to self for anyone who uses a stream deck or wants to do it. It'll stop working when your computer goes to sleep and turns it back on. Do a full reset on that. Just do the full reset, you'll be alright. Yeah. You know, so I think I kind of want to just jump into, well, yeah, actually there's Miruko, and then there's Kaiju number 8 I wanted to jump back on. So the horror one, right? Oh my god, it's one of those things. It's one of those things where anime will make it like terrifying, but there's something different about like legitimately like having like a straight illustration of like something horrific just looking at you. It's something different, dude. It sends chills to you, and you're like, bruh, she has to go through this like normally. Fuck. I'll talk about another. I'll talk about like another scene that happens later on. Um, so for context, right? Her brother not only being super protective, but he's also pretty suspicious about like why like her older sister is freaking out, like she's acting differently. Obviously it's because of the fact that she sees spirits now, but she can't really outright like talk about it. Oh, that reminds me of another thing. I'll talk about that one too, because it's worth it. It tells you that it's not all about like the horror of it. There's some actual wholesomeness about it that's told in the storytelling. But like it's one of those obligatory scenes where like it's the girl, she's like sitting like in a tub full of water, and she's like, damn dude, this is a super stressful day. Like, can I keep this up? She looks in the corner of the bathroom and she sees, oh yeah, it's a spirit. The spirits are literally everywhere, by the way. It's not looking at her, it's just legitimately just in a fetal position, like looking at the corner. But she's not having it. She's having like a mid like panic attack. She doesn't know what to do. And you see like it cuts to like the spirit as he slowly turns his head towards her. So you know this shit's like, whoa. But in comes barging in the kid brother, and he's saying like, hey, it's been a while, let's take a bath together. Totally platonic. I gotta completely tell you, it's totally platonic. He sees, I guess he sees her, right? And she's like tearing up. And the spirits do this to her. Like they will like straight like stare at her. And it was terrible during the bus ride on one of the chapters, but yeah, she was like about to like cry. The brother's like, oh shit, sorry, I'm gonna just hop out. And she was like, wait, let me scrub your back. Thank you. Because it was one of those things where she couldn't be left alone. There are a few like chapters where she really just bawls, like, right? It sucks. Oh yeah, Marcus asked, I meant to ask, have you ever seen the famous Call of Duty Rage video where the dudes gets flashbanged? I don't know. I mean, obviously you immediately have like solar flare following that, so I don't know the context. There's been plenty of Rage videos. Okay. Oh, sorry, I went Rick for a second. But you're gonna have to point me in the specific video of that. There was another, oh my god, the wholesome bit for this manga. So I'm gonna try to like picture or give you an illustration of this. Bro requests? I have no idea. I actually have no idea. But what was it? Picture the scene. Girl wakes up in the morning. She goes downstairs, like it's a school day, school morning. She goes into, I'm gonna click on the link and just have it here. Great, thanks. This is why we're on the Twitch side of things.
How about 4?
Let me just okay, this requires me to actually watch the fuck out of this. I'll have to do this off camera. Damn, dude. So it's a school morning. She goes down to a table, shows her mom, the previously like described protective younger brother, and her dad. And behind him is this very large, how do I describe this? I think here's the best way to describe specifically to Mark. Think of Deku as he is now, but it's Black Whip all over, and he's like the size of this room. He's the width of this room, and he's like wrapped around the table, and he's just looking at her, and somehow she needs to like not pay any attention to this thing. Like the brother father, mother are talking, and she's replying as best as possible. Ultimately, she can't really eat, so she gets up, she prepares to go to like school, and they were talking previously about the fact that like dad would always like eat whatever stuff wasn't like labeled in the fridge. So it was one of those things where it's like, oh well, shit, I had something, right? She's like, wait, before I go to school, there's something else I gotta do. And like literally the father's like right behind her. She places like, I forget what the food was that they were referencing. Let's just say it's pudding. I think it was pudding. She places a pudding on an altar. It's a picture frame of her father. You know already where this is going. So she sees spirits. She sees good and bad. That includes her father. Oh. And you don't know this until like he says like, thank you for offering pudding. You know, I feel bad, but I guess it's already too late now. And the dad's having full conversations with the other spirits, like the spirit's like, pudding. And he's like, no, that's my daughter just gave me that one. Like, oh. So wholesome, right? Okay. Real quick thing about Kaiju number 8. And I'm kind of paying attention to like how long we're streaming for, because there will probably be a gap in which we disconnect because Twitch, I guess, or maybe OBS. I don't know which other works. But Kaiju number 8, I'm liking it, like the pacing, as I already talked about. It's quick and straight to the point. It does a little quick time skip, which I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, no. All right, this is fine. I can do this. I'm only up to chapter 20. I gotta read chapter 20 because it deals with that particular oopsie encounter that could be terrible. But the fact is that it's a show that talks about like Kaiju number 8, but so far in the 20 chapters we don't really see him too much, especially during like the shift into like him being part of like the defense force, right? So I would say also like the side characters that we got to see, very similar to My Hero stuff, right? Getting to know the characters before you even like really get to know them. Easily likable. It's weird. Very minimalistic. The only like real like big devolve into the character dynamic of like any side character aside from our main pro tag. The main supporting cast, which is this one dude who's actually showing a lot more potential in himself, and then the genius prodigy girl who, after learning about the sequences of what happened to the main character, and how she found out, developing a crush. I don't know how I feel about that specifically, but you know, it's kind of cute when like he's just being a supportive person. We're up to chapter 40. Oh yeah, I know we're up to chapter 4, so I'm already halfway through. So I'm really curious as what the next 20 chapters are going to be. I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna binge read that like all the way through. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah. All right. I think that's pretty much it. So if you can, I will also do more recommendations on manga. Why not? Oh yeah, wait, did we talk about? We didn't talk about Dragon Ball. We didn't talk about Dragon Ball Super. The chapter. I'm not too big on like talking about every single Dragon Ball bit, but I do love the diverging paths that both Goku and Vegeta. I'm literally like a broken record when I talk about this. I love them talking about them taking different paths. Ultra Instinct and God Destruction paths. Vegeta getting his eyebrows like absolutely shaven for this form. Absolutely savage. But I love, what was it? I love like the last couple lines that they give for the Viz chapter, which was what was it? A God of Destruction taught me I'm gonna just because I don't want to fuck it up. Because it also talks about Goku too. Luckily, it's like right here. God Destruction taught me that power derived solely from instinct is unbounded. I was like, ah, shit. This dude. He's gonna be absolutely wiped next chapter, I know, but still. I don't know, Vegeta has like a lot of like good line deliveries like throughout the chapter. Because he's smart, right? He's already looked into the history of it and he's like, oh, I remember this. Or at least I know about this. I was a wee lad. And also talking about the follies of Granola's like reasoning to take revenge, specifically on these two. It's like, I just gotta have revenge, bruh. Doesn't matter who you are. But it's like, really? That's it? That's it. Oh wait, for real? Dead ass? Just like that. Yeah, Vegeta had like a lot of good lines. I know, like him already deducing that, like, you know, you didn't get this power like over time, like you just got them recently. And he's Granola's like, how'd you know that? But I do love, despite like that, it isn't a huge margin because it kind of tells you that like power in Dragon Ball does mean something, but on Vegeta's side, like the training and the history, the just experience for it also play a big factor into that as well. I mean, granted, he's saying that and he's literally the one who's like being pinned down a lot in this chapter, but it's still good. I do, because I actually also need to give a shout out to like Granola as well, because it's not like he's just like a baby when it comes to combat. Like, no, he's pretty an expert like as well, just not like with his newfound abilities. Because he easily noticed the fact that like with that, I mean, granted, it might be a little bit obvious, but it's like he did pick out the fact that Vegeta doesn't have like the power of destruction like that, like accumulatively large, so he makes up for it by using smaller objects. But now, because of how things are set up, and I love how he sets this up too, in the fact that like he starts off with the fact that like, okay, well, time for me to get serious too. No planet, no people to save. None of that worries. It just allows me to just go pure, following like the sheer instincts of like the Saiyan, and with that fulfills the requirements for him to go into this God of Destruction mode, where just as Beerus echoes, all I think about is destruction. So that's why there's no limit to that, because it's just purely that need, that fixation on sheer destruction, the only thing to focus on. That's why he's so strong. So for Vegeta to take on this route, he needs to also adopt the similar thing. So again, fulfills the requirements. So it may not be as easily accessible in most scenarios like Goku's, like Ultra Instinct. It might output a lot more as far as just sheer power and whatnot. So whatchamacallit? Yeah, Vegeta also talking about his love for fighting and the Battle Craze Saiyan line. Vegeta, I don't think is gonna get washed next chapter. I think it's gonna be fine. Be a dub with Granola retreating. You know what? If Granola retreats, it's a dub. It's a dub. If Granola feels like this is like, no, I'm good, then it's a dub. Vegeta says ranks are all good and well, but they only last for a brief moment. Doesn't matter anymore, right? So similar to what Guy said back in one of the chapters / episodes of Naruto Shippuden specifically. The fact is that when you're up against like a clone of yourself, usually it's just a matter of you improving like the very minute that you're fighting, right? And this pretty much echoes exactly what Vegeta is. For Granola, his wish was simply to become the strongest in the universe, right? No specification on like him maintaining that, just simply what he acquires over like a compounded like amount of time. So with Vegeta and Goku both like growing, he can easily be surpassed, and that's exactly the upper limit that what I guess what we're gonna expect from going forward, because there's only so much like area left before they reach like the level of, I guess, Zeno, right? And when they reach Zeno level, like you either go like interdimensional, which I mean they kind of like delved on, I feel like they did, but yeah, I mean I don't even want to even think about that, right? Let's just focus on like what's happening right now. Interesting enough that Granola still receives assists from Oatmeal. I totally forgot who Oatmeal is, but let's just pretend I know who Oatmeal is. But the fact is that he gets support still as far as aiming assists, and I was like, whatever, right? I just personally felt that like because you're the strongest, you feel like you rely solely on yourself. Be a flaw, but for some reason you're not. So props to you. But yeah, what Vegeta says is right. So at that time, you know, he's the strongest, but these guys are slowly building up on their strength, destruction, instinct, you name it. And they'll easily surpass like Granola, easily. Will they fusion themselves? Actually, you know what? Question. Yeah, nah, Zeno is the ceiling. I don't think they'll ever truly hit Zeno. The ability is cool. Yeah. I want to remind everyone that as cool as that is, the bow technique isn't 100% unique. It's still cool though. It's just know that people do that like a lot in anime. I'm specifically looking forward to the Jujutsu Kaisen like anime episode where they do that. If you don't know, it might be a bit of a spoiler, but dude, ever since I've been watching Jujutsu Kaisen, any type of form content, literally there's someone who's always reposting like this like fan-made animation like in the manga of like Sukuna, right, fighting against the volcanic head dude, and he does the same like arrow thing, and it's dope as fuck. It's new to Dragon Ball. Fair. It's fair. It makes sense too. You know, just because, you know, he's a ranger dude, but you know. Yeah, oh man, I went off like a tangent with that. I think, oh, we were talking about Zeno, and we are talking about the power scaling of that. I think they have like a lot of room for just like level threats. Obviously I don't think they can go forever with the series, but you know, I think what they're doing is really interesting, this this arc with Granola specifically. So I want to see, like, obviously the ideal thing is that they're all working together, but I think the story so far is set up so it's just really unique to know like how they're gonna deal with it, how they're gonna deal with Frieza specifically, because that dude's also like finally like training up, right, consistently. So I mean, we'll see. I mean, last time we saw him was Broly, right, and that hasn't really been canonized in the timeline, right? It's canon, we just don't know where it fits. Granola. Well, technically speaking, we do know. Mark, don't say anything. I know you're typing like fiercely right now. Hold. Hold! We know it takes place after Tournament of Power. But as far as I've seen it, they really have not touched on it like in the manga. Granola, I'm interested to see like if he will realize he is becoming everything he despises. Yeah, it might take a while. I mean, look at the My Hero one. Oh, Ventrix saying sharp camera exposure. Looks great. Thank you. You could thank the lights here. Oddly enough, this really does work as a nice highlight, but I think maybe there's a little bit too much lighting here. I thought about like lowering like the light intensity, but I'm actually okay with how it is right now. So, oh, nasally. In the manga, it's before Moro. Damn, they. All right. I mean, all right. No, you know, Mark's the expert. I'll believe that. No, it looks great and works with the depth of field, like, of the topic. Appreciate that. Thank you, Ventric. Yeah, like, damn, dude. I guess I should talk about this too. I know I talked about like, what was it, Elgato, because I mainly use it for the game capture stuff. And actually, you know what? Recently, like this camera as well. But, I know that they got. Ooh, oh god, the workout. Oh, I feel like right there. Ah, when I left it all the way up, it's like, whoa. Um, Elgato recently like released, and I think it was like 2 weeks back now, but they talked about like their XLR, like, I forget what it's called. I think it's just the Wave XLR is what they call it. And then they also have like the new face cam. Face cam, well, it's 1080 60 frames, so I can't really complain about that. This one also does the same thing too. Right now it is doing like 60 frames and stuff like that, but yeah, I can understand like why they wouldn't need like 4K or anything like that. This one can do it. It's just there's not really much of a need for it. Plus, we need the 60 frames. Elgato, what about the cat? I was gonna say, do I have a laugh track? We don't. So I'm just gonna give you a police siren on that one. Anyway. Oh yeah, it does have active white balancing or something, just manually adjust. I think it's what I saw like on Engadget. Oh, I know that. I know that like bit. Yeah, what is this one? This one also has like autofocus too, so it's like and then it's like, oh, where'd he go? And it's like, ah, it's just me. White balance though, I think I might have already like I think I fixed it here because otherwise I just manually adjust and I didn't really want to do that. The streamer cam, it's how it's being built. Yeah. Um, you know, it's kind of interesting because obviously they have it set up so you would have your own like HDMI like camera, and if you want to plug that in, you have like to buy like their capture card that has like a lot of those, right? They have one like it's like priced around $350. Oof, right? But apparently that's cheaper than most other alternatives from other third parties. So, all right. Um, but then there's the XLR, which is like use your own mic and plug it in. I totally do that for just this simple like aesthetic matching with the Stream Deck that I got, but I don't know, like I'm not sure if I want to really make the switch over to XLR again. I think I'm because I need the arm for that as well. They also came out with a couple of arms as well, but if I can get the quality close to, well, this mic as close to XLR quality close as possible. Granted, compressed video on YouTube and Twitch, sure. Then I think I should be okay just to stave off of that. But yeah, what were we talking about? I think a little bit of like Dragon Ball Super. Yeah, I think that Vegeta had a really good segment for this chapter, so we'll have to see in a month. Oddly enough, the horror like manga Miruko also kind of has like a monthly release. Maybe cross your fingers because it's like it's one of those things. But manga's coming out, or sorry, anime is coming out, so keep a lookout for that. Also, Dragon Ball Super movie coming out, right? That recently just came out. I think today actually. And I wanted to touch on the specific topic that we talked about on Facebook, which, well, Facebook chat. The simple fact that it was Gabe's piece on it. He was saying that it was choppy. The teaser itself was super choppy. And I agree with him. It is very choppy. And that's all I gotta say about it. I hope that they maintain the same animation. They probably won't, based on like the teaser. But if they had the same art style as Dragon Ball Super Broly, excuse me, it'll just be out of the park on that one. But we'll see, because by looks of it, they're gonna go with like the more detailed lining on it, and I'm not the biggest fan, but the animation is good. It doesn't matter. That's all I gotta say about that. Until I think we can wrap up, right? it's been well over an hour. So as usual, it's kind of weird because we're having this as like our quote unquote podcast pre-recorded. So once I go through and just do like a quick like cut here and there, I'll upload it to YouTube and set that to release like around the usual time on YouTube specifically. Or maybe not. Actually, you know what? Because it doesn't really matter. Like on that end, we're just don't worry. Oh, I got it. I got it. Yeah. All right. So, well, I still have you guys. Let's go over with well, actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and sign off, right? So, sorry, this is kind of weird because I have to think differently because all of a sudden like it's all on Twitch and I'm doing a pre-record thing. You get it. All right, so thank you guys so much for tuning in for this episode of DangIT Prodcast. It's episode 370. Jesus, my name is Justin. Thanks for watching. Hashtag bye, everyone. And while I still have you guys on Twitch, right? I don't know if I want to do it could be a toss-up really, but I'm not sure like how Saturday is gonna work, right? Because I'm gonna be gone. Let's just put a safe bet that nothing's happening on Saturday, right? Sunday, we don't have our My Hero chapter because that's coming out like a week after, right? Whatchamacallit it? Well, we're gonna have our Sunday Fight Night. I think that's should be Dragon Ball. Yeah, should be Dragon Ball. So Sunday Fight Night will probably still be a thing. You know, we'll keep going for like the 7 p.m. like Pacific time slot on that one. But for Saturday tomorrow, or for Mark later that day, we were probably gonna just keep that as a day off because I'm gonna just be visiting a cousin. But yeah, all right. So ending the stream for Twitch here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.